Hi, my name is Heather DeLong. I work for CARE US for the Food and Water Systems team on the Agriculture and Market Systems unit as a technical advisor for sustainable agriculture. And today I'm going to talk about CARE's approach to food loss and waste. In the fall of 2021, CARE formed a global working group. And over the past year, or over the course of a year, many people have contributed to a great amount of research and understanding the challenges of food loss and waste, solutions, and more specifically, how to tailor our approaches and tools to the communities we serve globally. We have the technical working group, and we also have an advisory committee. Our members come from many different backgrounds and areas of expertise, including sustainable agriculture, agribusiness, inclusive markets, disaster risk preparedness and response, climate change adaptation and resilience, livelihoods, innovation, rural economics, food security, gender, and more. So what is food loss and waste? Food loss refers to the food that gets spilled, spoiled, or otherwise lost, or incurs reduction of quality and value during its process in the food supply chain before it reaches its final product stage. Another way to think about this in more simple terms is food loss usually happens at the production, post-harvest, and processing stages of the food chain. Food waste refers to food that completes the food supply chain up to a final product of good quality and fit for consumption, but still doesn't get consumed because it's discarded, whether or not after it is left to spoil or expire. Another way to put this is food waste generally refers to produce lost during marketing and distribution and is thrown away by the consumer, as well as what happens post-consumer, which is a growing area of discussion that many models haven't focused on, but that I'm happy to report has been a major focus area for the working group. Now, I want to touch on just a few facts regarding global food loss and waste. It would be very hard to touch on all of them given the enormous topic that food loss and waste is. It's actually shocking to see how many areas are impacted for people and planet due to food loss and waste. But it's important to note how deeply connected this topic is to nearly all areas we focus on at CARE. There are clear and direct implications, negative impacts, and solutions connected to issues such as gender justice, youth and livelihoods, inclusive markets, nutrition, integrated water resource management, WASH, resilience and sustainability, climate justice, emergency and humanitarian issues, and much more. What is very clear is to tackle this, it requires a multidisciplinary approach across the private and public sectors. But just a few of those facts now. The first being that the world produces enough food to feed everyone on the planet, but you can see that 1/3 or 1.3 billion tons of food produced is lost or wasted every year. To put that in other terms, that is approximately $1 trillion worth of food. More than half, 56%, occurs in high-income countries. The remaining 44% occurs in low-income countries. In both situations, small-scale farmers and hungry, undernourished people suffer the most. The FAO states that if we could reverse this, it would result in preserving enough food to feed 2 billion people, or twice the number of undernourished people across the globe. Additionally, the FAO estimates that 30 to 40% of total production in low-income countries can be lost before reaching market. These losses could be as high as 40 to 50% for root crops, fruits, and veggies, 30% for cereal and fish, and 20% for oil seeds. The loss of marketable food reduces producers' incomes, likely having larger impacts on already disadvantaged people, like women and youth. Resources are lost when food is lost or wasted as well. 28% of the world's arable land produces food that is wasted, rather than being used to feed those most in need. Around 38% of total energy consumption is utilized to produce food that is either lost or wasted. And the total volume of water is estimated at 45 trillion gallons of water, equal to 24% of all water used for agriculture. The amount of water used to produce food that ends up wasted could fill Lake Geneva 3 times. Additionally, food waste is one of the largest producers of carbon, with an estimated 3.3 billion tons of greenhouse gases emitted each year. While those facts are pretty grim, thankfully there's a lot of great work, research, awareness initiatives, innovations, and action being taken. A lot of actions and tools are simple, actions that every person can take, while others are much more complex to integrate into our very connected global food systems. Thankfully, the more we understand about this topic, the more we understand what steps we can take. We are quickly going to take a look at challenges and solutions across the value chain for food loss and waste. We will focus more on the solutions with the time that we have given for this presentation. However, it's important to point out that many models for food loss and waste look at a linear economy approach, such as the one in this diagram. A linear economy follows a take, make, use, dispose system. This generates a high amount of waste at every stage. Also, when looking at this model, post-consumer is an emerging focus area that helps us to get away from a linear approach and move to a circular approach. And we will discuss this a bit later. First, production. Food loss and waste, primary loss, happens at the production level. And you can see there are many challenges, from poor or no production planning to lack of seed, pest and disease, a lot of input that goes into production and then is lost is an incredible loss in many, many ways. But again, we will focus on the solution. There are approaches such as improving agricultural extension services, farmer education, providing information on how to use and add value to unmarketable crops, improving access to infrastructure and markets, access to climate and weather information services, improving access to inputs, and much more. Next, harvest and post-harvest challenges. Many challenges present themselves, including poor harvesting practices, poor handling practices, lack of technology, lack of pooling, heavy workload. But approaches include increasing knowledge of proper harvest and handling methods, including harvesting at the correct size, the correct time of day, the best harvest method per crop, properly understanding how to bunch or package, correct cleaning and drying methods, improving storage technology and infrastructure. For processing and packaging, there are many challenges, including lack of access to resources, lack of labor, degradation, poor processing facilities, and more. But there are many solutions, including processing, value addition, product transformation that could help to address food loss at the farm level and create new business opportunities through value-added products, improving infrastructure and processing and value addition facilities, as well as improving supply chain management, improving packaging to keep food fresher for longer and optimize portion sizes, minimal and environmentally friendly packaging, and smart packaging. And there are many tools that can be developed and or exist to help those approaches. Marketing and distribution. Challenges include transportation, degradation, spillage, spoilage, inadequate facilities, and other challenges. But some approaches for solutions include facilitating increased donation of unsold goods, providing guidance on food storage and preparation to consumers, direct sale channels with buyers such as institutions, restaurants, corporate supply chains, organizing or facilitating market fairs as a way for small-scale farmers to sell more of their products, improving market negotiation skills and information systems for small scale producers, improving marketing and aggregation and storage facilities, including collection centers, cold storage, and more. Consumption. Challenges include nutrient waste, food storage, food selection, social norms, fuel use, time constraints for women that affect purchasing and food preparation decisions, environmental and resource level impacts, the availability of cooking tools, and more. Some approaches toward solutions include conducting consumer education campaigns, improving consumer cooking skills, eating what some consider ugly produce, making markets more accessible for all income levels, including farmers markets, gardens for self-consumption, and diversification of food options. Post-consumer. Post-consumer challenges looks at the food wasted or thrown out after it's made it to the consumer, to the individual, family, guest, student, restaurant, or other businesses. It impacts climate change. It impacts water pollution. There are lost opportunities to get food and nutritious foods to people that are most in need of that. Additionally, there are lost economic and enterprise opportunities. Some solutions include donations. There's an example of Care Honduras, with cooperatives and associations donating produce to those in need that is not sold at market. Compost education and production knowledge, which could lead to small business, small enterprise opportunities. Biogas production used from discarded cooking oils, which could also lead to small business opportunities. Food recovery and redistribution models and programs and entrepreneurship opportunities to reuse products safely. The opportunity to use waste digesters and dehydrators, and vermicomposting. Integration. There are lots of opportunities to integrate food loss and waste across the board, utilizing CARE's gender equality framework when designing food loss and waste programs and considering interventions. There are many ways to promote opportunities for women across value chains to reduce food loss and waste for home, planet, and community, and increase livelihood opportunities. Also looking at how to incorporate food loss and waste into gender value chain assessments, and utilizing existing tools such as social analysis and action. All of these are great ways to integrate food loss and waste and gender equality. Additionally, it's important to think about the synergies with other groups and departments within CARE, such as working with food loss and waste issues with the Food and Water Systems team, gender equality, health equity and rights, market-based approach team, savings group of VSLA, CARE enterprises, digital development, impact at scale, and the climate justice team. Food loss and waste affects nearly every part of our food system. So there is an opportunity for working within each of those teams on food loss and waste issues. Synergies also exist with other food and water systems working groups, such as the Gender Justice, Youth and Livelihoods, Nutrition through Local Structures, Integrated Water Resource Management, WASH, and Resilience and Sustainability. Finally, one of the things that we've been working on within the working group is this circular food economy model to reducing food loss and waste. In a circular food economy, activities at all levels of the food value chain rebuild overall systems health by designing out the concept of waste. They utilize and maintain raw material sources, reduce environmental impacts that are a result of production and consumption, and help support economic activities and products that can circulate through systems in society. While this care-centric model is still in its infancy, we hope to further elaborate through design where the solutions and approaches lie. This will include illustrating through the model such solutions as farmer field and business school, water smart agriculture, nutrition behavioral change activity, consumer education campaigns, fair trade accreditations, and many other solutions. Stay tuned for this evolving model towards promoting solutions for food loss and waste at CARE. Finally, to summarize in a simple but powerful way, reducing food waste would cut greenhouse gas emissions, slow the destruction of nature through land conversion and pollution, enhance the availability of food, and thus reduce hunger and save money at the time of global recession. A good reminder of the importance for us to be working on food loss and waste at CARE. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or to anyone else on the team. Thank you.